Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.
Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me,
the podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove the ideas that you, the listeners, have. You have a theory about Michael Clark Duncan? We will get to the bottom of it.
Let's get to the bottom of that big motherfucker and what happened to him for real, you know?
Who knows?
Who knows? Omarosa knows, I'll say that. I bet she knows.
Facts.
She don't want to talk about it.
I'm David Bory.
I'm your co-host, Langston Kerman. This is going to be a fun one. We're doing what we always do with the mini episodes. We're taking the listeners' bullshit and we're making it into gold, I say. Absolute gold.
Gold, Jerry.
You all send us your nonsense and we do our best to help resolve it. And today's conspiracy theory, I would say, is top-notch nonsense. I would go so far as to say
top-notch.
Top-notch, peak nonsense,
okay.
I'd say.
Okay.
This message comes from a person named William. William sent us a message where he says, listening to your pod with Idris Goodwin, and it got me thinking, I wonder if the prison complex, music industry, and manufacturers of shirts and pants way bigger than necessary unified to not only promote gangster rap, but also kill off the more clean-cut, socially acceptable boy bands, which was a calculation to drive demand, increase policing, or if it was just a side effect of the goal. Whatever the case, I'm sure the answer is white devil. So I think what he's suggesting here, William, is that there was an intentional killing off of sort of like the more palatable black image for the sake of gangster rap in order to help support the prison industrial complex.
Unfortunately, I might be. That seems feasible to
You're
me.
bought in.
I'm just saying, you look at R&B, what would they rather have us doing? Fucking? And starting families with you, girl? Wanting to be the one? Or killing each other? Or doing crimes that will get us to... R&B is only going to get you a family that maybe is a little bigger than you have the money to support. Let's be honest.
Yep.
But not like it's not breaking. The core tenets of R&B aren't going to break down the culture as in the way that the core tenets of hip hop is. I could see it.
I will say, even to that point, the old R&B, now new R&B sort of does some weird shit, but old R&B was really about the nuclear family. You know what I mean? Like, they were real rooted in a mommy and a daddy and a baby, and we all lived together in the same house. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And now new R&B is
why did you say bullshit?
I don't know.
Don't you have a mommy and a baby that you live in a house with?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting scammed every day, if I'm being honest with you. I could be fucking and sucking right now, and I'm hanging out with y'all. This is trash.
That's what single people always think. They could be fucking and sucking right now. It's 3 p.m.
Hey, there's some 3 p.m. hoes out there that I could be enjoying.
All right, that's fair.
And here I am.
So yeah, what do you think about it? I'm for it.
Listen, it doesn't sit wrong in my spirit. I'll say that.
Exactly.
I don't know. You know, he poses the question, was this sort of like an intentional erasure or more of just a thing that they realized later? And we had this argument before. I am never of the belief that the government has like this giant master plan, as much as I think they just take advantage of moments. So when if I were to make the argument, I do think there's some logic to they see the rise of gangster rap and sort of like this thing happening, and they go, hell yeah, we're fine with that. We're cool with whatever the fuck that is. And if that keeps y'all from feeling like building nuclear families and supportive homes, yeah, go crazy. And if that means we got to tell Jodeci to put their shirts on, we're fine with that too.
Right. Especially coming off the 80s, right? Coming off of Reagan privatizing prisons. Now prisons are making money. Now that there's this art form that like makes streets to the prison pipeline, it does kind of all flow to that way. And it flows to money, which makes sense for me. My man said something about the metaverse, which maybe I don't understand.
Oh, that was in the last one.
Oh, never mind. That was in the dumb guy's email.
You're still so angry. For those that are listening, at one point we thought we were doing a different conspiracy theory that David could not have been angrier at.
No, he was a stupid person. It was just not well thought out. It was very bad. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I also think the government is maybe more spread out than we like to think.
Whoa, say more on that.
Like, it's not like, I mean, you look at all these things that are happening right now with states' rights and have always been. So it's like, obviously, the federal government isn't maybe moving as a unit with state governments in the way that, like, would have a rollout like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think that, like, overall, this thing started to make money. And if it makes dollars, it makes sense, especially in the United States. So, like, I think it was like gangster rap probably happened organically. And then it was just everybody aided it along. Whereas, like, if you remember in the early 90s, late 80s, there was also a pretty big conscious black movement.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There was like self-destruction, you're headed for self, and all that kind of shit. So
yeah,
there was
Queen
like,
Latifah never made a negative song in her whole career.
She's not a bitch.
Yeah.
But and that movement did not go anywhere.
It wasn't, to your point, aided along in any version of it. Now it was successful largely because of sort of black people in reinvesting in themselves and sort of identifying themselves inside of it. But it certainly wasn't a thing where like, oh, we're all agreeing that this is the best thing to support financially on a global scale.
Because it had no corporate, there was no, it just seems like on the whole, there was not any gain to be made from it from white America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was also empowering. And it didn't, like, that kind of message, that's empowering, and that doesn't invest in fear of the other like gangster rap does, right? Gangster rap, no matter how much they consume it, it's still always them from a place of safety, viewing these black people as these big, scary people. It, like, Public Enemy doesn't do that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Additionally, during that same period, we did see a similar influx of that pseudo, because it wasn't like the positive shit you're talking about that like you would see in a Public Enemy, a Tribe, whoever the fuck it is, but it was like the sort of Fresh Prince of it all, where it's like just truly like innocuous music that isn't picking a side, and that music was successful. The MC Hammers, the Fresh Princes, the whatever it is. And part of that is them being like, no, we're cool with y'all being complete harmless little kitty cats or absolute murderers. We're not going to allow you to like preach positivity to yourselves and then become greater.
But even that, the Fresh Princes of what and whatnot, even that did kind of die off to where mid to late 90s, even the pop rap, you know what I mean? Nelly has a friend with a pole in the basement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the popular rap was not innocuous.
No.
There was no longer any Will Smith. Even the pop stuff was still kind of these kind of damaging tenets.
Yeah, Country Grammar.
Yeah.
Country Grammar was like the #1 cutest song in all of America. And the dirty version of that song, the chorus is him talking about spraying up the block.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't. So even that innocuous soft rap didn't stay.
Yeah.
It was the gangster shit is what kept going. Crunk, like all that type of shit. That's what kept going. Even that little stuff was like, I would say, as short lived as the pro black shit. But gangster rap somehow is maintained throughout this entire time.
And are you of the mind that is because of intentional work on the part of like the powers that be, government, reps, whatever the fuck it is? Or is this just sort of like the movement of sort of like time and evolution of the work?
I think if you are selling to a primarily white audience, I think that, and I don't know how conscious this idea is, but I think that it is always easier to sell them us as some kind of cartoonish freak thing that they can look at and kind of be like, it's like going to a zoo versus the idea of like selling them the Fresh Prince. Because the idea of the black middle class was very prevalent, at least on television during the 90s, right?
Sure. Family Matters is the most middle class family maybe ever on television.
Yeah, the Parenthood, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they were rich, like, but even like Moesha, like her dad owned a car dealership.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like, but I think music wise, yeah, I think that it's this idea of like debase them and sell them as that, sell them as sex, sell them as violence. Sex and violence still sell more than anything else here, right? So if you have a whole people that you can like tokenize as that, why wouldn't they push it that way?
Damn.
There's not a lot of money in white people just being like, they're just like us.
It's sad. I don't know that, William, this conspiracy theory made anybody feel good or funny.
No, I'm upset.
It seems like you might have nailed it, or at least nailed something in what you've unpacked here.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
Well, fuck you, William, and everything that you've put into our lives. We were having a good day, and then you showed up with your negativity, and now we resent you and everything you're affiliated with. How's that?
100%.
Well, we did it. I think we nailed it. Bori, could you tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
I'm on Instagram at CoolGuyJokes87. And, you know, if you want to see my dates, go to officialdavidbori.com. I have all my dates up there. You could buy a t-shirt and whatnot. That's good enough for me.
Fuck yeah. Buy a t-shirt. Check out the dates. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman. And if you want to send us drops, if you want to send us your own conspiracy theories, and if I learn to talk, you can send it to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. That's it. We did it. Bye, bitch.
Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.